Sean Salisbury here for Open Sports. Let's review what happened in the NFC and AFC championship games. First with Baltimore and Pittsburgh. A couple things played out exactly the way I felt they would. One is Pittsburgh had to control Ed Reed, meaning use their eyes right and have Ben Roethlisberger move him around so Ed Reed wasn't a major factor in the game, and he is the best football player in this league. Guess what? He wasn't a major factor in this game, and Ben Roethlisberger came up with the big plays, which they had to do. You can't nickel and dime against these two teams, Baltimore or Pittsburgh. You got to come up with a home run. Pittsburgh hit the home run. Baltimore, a bunch of singles, and actually, struck out a handful of times, because the other thing that Pittsburgh did is they treated they treated Joe Flacco like a rookie. Not in their preparation, but I said going into this game, I said it right here, that they needed to make sure that they gave him that rookie treatment, giving him stuff that he's not used to, and hitting him all day long and forcing turnovers, and that's what they did. And for the first time in months, Joe Flacco played like a rookie. Pittsburgh made the big play. The Baltimore Ravens didn't. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense was swarming and forced Joe Flacco into that rookie-type game and didn't give up the home run or the big play. They gave up a few passes and a couple runs, but other than that, it was not Pittsburgh was the dominant team in this. And good game and a very physical game, but the Pittsburgh Steelers were the better team, and it comes down to this. Like I always said in a game that's close, the quarterback. Who plays better? Ben Roethlisberger outplayed Joe Flacco, and that's why Pittsburgh's moving on to the Super Bowl. And our best wishes to Willis McGahee, who's one of the tougher players in this league and took a vicious shot, a vicious hit on the field. Let's hope Willis is okay and everything works out perfect for him and he's up and moving around again soon. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are moving on to the Super Bowl. The quarterback was a difference as well as the defense. In the other game, Philadelphia and Arizona, you know what? Anybody out there, an expert who tells you they picked Arizona to get to the Super Bowl is a liar. I don't care. After what you saw during the month of December and then when the playoffs started, I had them losing every playoff game. I didn't think they beat Atlanta, didn't think they beat Carolina, didn't think they beat Philly. So much for being an expert, right? The truth is Arizona did what they expected to do every game. They had their big players made huge plays, Kurt and Larry Fitzgerald, every single game. The other teams, even knowing that Arizona had to make those plays with those particular people, couldn't stop them. Carolina, Atlanta, or Philadelphia. They allowed the best player on Arizona's team, or the two best players, Fitzgerald and Warner, to beat them in every single playoff game. And that's exactly what Arizona did. And we've got to give Arizona's defense credit, because every game they played against a star. They did not let the star beat them. They forced somebody else to beat him, and that somebody else couldn't do it. Westbrook and McNabb. And McNabb, although his numbers look good, when it comes to yards and touchdowns, he did not have his best game. He was inaccurate at times, and they forced him in some errant throws. Westbrook wasn't a factor in the game. Michael Turner in the opening playoff game wasn't a factor. The Carolina running game and Jake Delhomme weren't factors on the positive side in that second playoff game. So Arizona did what good teams do. They take the star out of the game and make somebody else beat you, and that somebody else couldn't beat them in 3 consecutive playoff games. And yes, going into this playoff, I guarantee if you ask the AFC what team would they want to play if they got to the Super Bowl that they figured they could beat, and they'd have said Arizona. Now, like I wrote in my blog yesterday, be careful what you wish for, because Arizona's on a roll. It's not usually the best team, because Arizona, I'm telling you now, is not the best team in the NFC. They've played the best at the right time, and they're there. There are 10 teams probably better in this league than Arizona. But right now, there's nobody better in the NFC, and right now they may be playing better than anybody, and Pittsburgh will have their hands full. But nobody picked Arizona to get to this point. I guarantee it, and nobody expected them to play this well consistently in the playoffs after watching them for most of December. The Arizona Cardinals taking care of their business, the big play, superstars got into the act, and the defense for Arizona did not allow the other team's star in any of the playoff games, and in Philly yesterday, to get into the act. McNabb made a great comeback for him, but they couldn't close it out when it mattered. Arizona's moving on to the Super Bowl, Arizona-Pittsburgh, and we will beat it up with publicity and with talking about it with every single angle of the game for the next 2 weeks. I'm Sean Salisbury for Open Sports.
Think you can complete the drive? Play today and get an automatic entry to win daily prizes, 2 tickets to the big game, and a brand new car. Start your drive today at opensports.com.